This is my 2013 Honda Accord. Really great car, but it has a really strange problem. The problem my Honda has is that I would turn off the car, go inside, and it would stay connected to the car even though the car was off. My telephone, people would call me and I couldn't hear them, I couldn't talk to them. My phone would act really strange, and it took me a long time to figure out. I rebooted the phone. I was even about to do the factory reset, and then I realized by looking in settings that the car was still connected through the Bluetooth unit to my phone inside the house. The Bluetooth unit was not turning off. Also, the battery was draining a little bit. It wasn't very bad with my car, but I've looked on YouTube. Other people had big problems with their batteries draining because the Bluetooth unit would stay on. So I'm going to show you the solution I came up with that works really good. I'm very, very happy with it. So that's the next step. Okay, here you can see the dash of the Honda 2013 Honda, and this is what we're going to take apart in order to get to the Bluetooth unit. It's actually just above this little compartment here. See that compartment? We take that out and it's above that. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is take these silver molding pieces off, and what you do is you start down at the end here and you use a flathead and you just stick it in here and you just sort of pull up on it and it just pops out. It's really pretty easy. And do it again a little farther up, and then if you lift this guy, it just pops right out. See, it just comes right off. And then you got the same deal here. This end here, stick that in there and you just wedge it up and it pops right out, and you can lift up on it. Well, this one's sticking a little, so you can pull up the brake and just wedge it in here, and it really comes up pretty easy, and it pops right off. You just lift up on the end. So here you can see without the molding, things are exposed, and what you have is right here is a Phillips head screw, and right here is a Phillips head screw. So we'll take that out. There's the screw. Just put a Phillips head in there. There's the screw here. Phillips head. Okay. And then there's one over here. There's the screw. And I just put it down here in the cup holder so I don't lose it. And you'll see that this thing just pulls right out. Watch. You just pull this out. 2 screws holding that thing in. And then here you have the cavity. Here you can see that they have this plastic plate here. And in order to get a screwdriver in there, you really have to take that out. But it's easy. So what you do is, see the white parts here? There's another one here. You just squeeze those and it pops up. Just kind of pop it up. There it is there. You just sort of push it down and lift up. So then this place kind of connects in the back there, and you just take it out. And you can see there's tabs. There's tabs there. And so the concave part faces upward. When you put it back together, it goes in little tabs in the back. Okay, you see you fit it into those tabs in the back. See them? Okay, so now you can see the Bluetooth unit. Right there. See, it's just below. There it is there. Now you can see that there's 2 plugs that go into this one. Some only have 1 plug, but this one has 2. Now in order to get the screw that is right here, it's behind the first plug. So you have to unplug it. And it's a little hard to see, but let's see if I can get a look at it. You can see there, you can see the plug. There's a little tab. There's a little tab right below the plug. So you just press up on the tab and pull it out, and the plugs come right out. So you have to undo that first plug in order to get to the other screw. One screw is over here, you can see that one, and then the other screw is behind the first plug with the black wire. So you have to take that plug out, and you can see the tab there. You push up on that tab and the plug comes out. Okay, so here I have the hood up, and I'm going to check the power, because what's common with these Bluetooth units when they go bad is they draw power. I guess there's a short in there somewhere, and it drains the battery. So I thought before I replace my old one, I would check to see if it's draining the battery. So the Bluetooth unit is in there, and I wanted to check. And the way you check is by checking for amps. But first, here's my meter. It shows nothing now. And I have the ground lead connected to ground on the battery. And when I touch the red lead to the positive, I get a reading of 12.5 volts. That's normal. 12.5 is what you should get with the car off and everything idle. But when you measure for this problem, a drawing of power, you want to use the, instead of DC volts, you want to use DC amps and measure that way. Now the difference is when you measure voltage, you go across the voltage negative to negative, positive to positive. But when you want to read amps, and you get the 12 volts, when you want to read amps, you actually have to put the meter in the circuit. It becomes part of the circuitry. So that's why they have, you can see here, there's a thing, it says 10 amp fused. That way, if you hook up to anything over 10 amps, the fuse will blow and your meter won't get burnt out. So whenever you're going to do amps, use the 10 amp fuse first. They have a 300 milliamp option here. That's only when you know it's below 300 milliamps, because it's not fused. And if you put something above 300 milliamps, you're going to blow this circuitry here. So always use the fuse side of the amperage first. Measure it, and then you could tell, what kind of amperage you're using. It's always best to just use this. The meter's going to adjust the scale anyhow. So in order to do that, I have to take off. I've already loosened this. You take off take off the ground side from the battery. See, it's separate now. And I got this nice black cable. Jumpers are ET's best friend, so if you're going to do electrical work with a meter, it's always good to have jumpers. Now I want this to stay away, so I'm going to press that down. So I've clipped this cable here, and I got my red jumper cable, and I'm going to clip one end to the lead and one end to my my clip-on here. Clip-on, there it is. So I connect this here. Oh, wait a minute. First I have to change these leads. I have to move this lead over, put it on the 10 amp fused, right? Then I adjust the meter to amps DC. Okay, now I can make this connection. So immediately we get a reading of 0.6. That's way high. It should be like 0.03. So what's happening is that Bluetooth unit is draining the battery more than it should. It's dropping down a little bit, down to 0.4, but still that's very high. It should be a tenth of that. It should be 0.03. So we'll go inside and disconnect the Bluetooth unit. It's down to 0.28 now. Sometimes these things have to settle in. Still very high, it's about 10 times what it should be. So what we're going to do is go and unplug the Bluetooth unit, which is part of the removal process anyhow. So here you can see I removed the small plug, and now I could get to the screw. Now what you do is, for those screws, they're not Phillips heads. They're 7mm sockets. Let's see if I can find it. Well, you're going to have to take my word for it. That's a 7mm socket handle. And that's why you have to take this plate off, because you have to put it in the hole to get to the socket up there. So that's what I'm going to remove this screw with this socket, and then the Bluetooth unit will drop down. Here's the screw in the socket. It's a 7mm hex head. So I put that in the cup holder here so I don't lose it. And now you can see that the Bluetooth unit is hanging down. And I would remove the other screw also, which is up behind the plug. So you can get to that the same way. So now the Bluetooth unit is loose. I can undo the big plug with the tab, which is right here. Just press the tab and the plug comes right out. So here you see the Bluetooth unit as it is removed. And there's the two plugs, and you can see that you have the one hole right behind the little plug, and then the other hole is right here, which is much easier to get to. So there, the Bluetooth unit has been removed. Okay, so here you can see that with the Bluetooth unit removed, I get 0.001 or below on the scale. If I lower the scale down to the finer scale, I get, 8.2, 8.3 around there. So this shows that the Bluetooth unit was drawing excessive current and draining the battery when the car was off. Also, we're going to want to have the Bluetooth unit off so it doesn't connect to my phone when it's in the house. So I'm going to show you how to wire that so that it doesn't happen. Now, if I put the scale back up to the higher scale, it goes back to 0.1. So at the lower scale, it's 0.008. At the higher scale, it's 0.1. So I'm going to show you how to wire the Bluetooth unit so that it turns off when you turn your car off and turns on when you turn your car on. So now I'm going to put the battery back to normal connections. Make sure you clean the connections, and also whenever you do that, you can get this stuff at the local parts store. Battery terminal conductor, this stuff here, they got it right by the counter there. Always put that stuff on, because what it does is it keeps these terminals from corroding. And believe me, if your ground terminal corrodes, you're going to have all kinds of weird problems. Here you can see the probe going into the corner of the plug, which attaches to that white wire with kind of greenish markings on it. And the meter reads 12 volts. So that's the one that connects to the battery. And what I'm going to do is take the wire I attached to accessories, which actually is connected to this 12 volt plug here. It only turns on when the car is on. So I'm going to attach that to this green wire. And instead of having 12 volts to the Bluetooth unit all the time, it's only going to be there when the car is on. So it won't drain the battery, and it won't keep me connected even when I'm in the house. I marked it with a blue pen, a blue marker, so that I can be sure I do the right wire. You really don't want to make a mistake and do the wrong wire. So it's this white wire on the end there with the green markings, and you can see the blue mark I put there just to make sure I don't make a mistake. This white wire goes around to the back of the socket and is 12 volts accessory, and you can see I have the black wire tap onto that. So that's what I'm going to use to provide accessory power to the Bluetooth. You can see here that I've soldered the wire to this pin here. There's the cut wire. I'm going to use that later because I want 12 volts from the battery to charge my phone when the car is off. So that's what I'm going to use that for. But anyways, I soldered the wire on both ends, this end, and this end. And now it's just put the Bluetooth unit plugged in and see if it all works. I got the Bluetooth unit plugged in. I'm gonna start the car. Okay, whenever you disconnect the battery, you get this message here that says to enter the security code automatically, push and hold the audio power button, or you enter in your security code here. But all you have to do is push this button, and then it goes back to normal. So now I'm going to set up my Bluetooth on the phone. So I go to settings, connections, Bluetooth. Now with the Honda, it's this hands-free link. Where is it? Hands-free link. And you can see it's connecting. If you press this top part where it says settings and hold it down, you get the car settings. You go to audio and down to the Bluetooth device list, and there you can see there's my phone. Now when I put the new Bluetooth unit in, it had the list was full of all these other things, and I actually had to delete them all to put mine in. So if you do get a new Bluetooth unit and it's going to have strange phones on it, you might as well delete the old other phones. But actually, if you're having this problem, you don't really need to replace the Bluetooth unit. You just do the wiring thing that I show you, and it should fix it. I'm gonna start the car. See, the car is coming on. No device is connected. The pairing was successful, see? So now if I look at my phone, I have the Bluetooth signal. Let's see, we'll go like this. Go to settings, connections. Here you can see the hands-free is connected. Remember to turn up the volume on your phone and your stereo.
As they set about doing so, enemy troops would attack from the dark of the forest either side.
It's working.
Most of these enemy troops would be killed or captured for their pains, but by then the damage was done.
Okay, so now the real test is when I turn the car off, I want the Bluetooth to go off. So what this proves now is that my accessory wire to the Bluetooth means it's working. It's getting power from accessories now instead of directly from the battery. So now if I press the off button, I want to see that my Bluetooth disconnects, and there it shows it right there that it's disconnected. If I go to settings, the hands-free link has disconnected. So wow, that's great. I no longer have to worry about the Bluetooth unit being on while I'm sitting in my living room trying to use my phone. Wow, that's great. So then it's just a matter of remounting the Bluetooth unit and putting everything back together in reverse order. The other big advantage of this system where you run the accessory wire to the Bluetooth unit is now the Bluetooth unit is off when the car is off. So it's no longer draining the battery. And this is really a common problem in the Hondas, is that the Bluetooth unit, somehow it shorts or something, and the drain on the battery goes way up, and it's quite a problem. You'll see there's quite a few videos about this. One guy put a switch so that it could turn it on and off manually, but I think this is better because you could forget to turn the switch off, you know. This way the car, when it's off, no longer supplies power to the Bluetooth unit. And it starts right up. You saw it started right up by itself. It connects and all that. So this is a great thing. Here you can see that I have the Bluetooth unit mounted back where it's supposed to be. It's just a matter of hiding the wires and putting the covers back on. Here I put all the molding back on, and I put this little compartment thing back in place. The Bluetooth unit is right up there, right behind here. And so all I have to do now is just turn the car on without even starting. Just, go into the on mode. You can see it starts up. Everything's normal. No device connected yet. There it goes. Pairing successful.
Straight out to Sandhurst. On that morning, however, it was Lieutenant Hubert Beddington's 4 Troop in the lead, or rather, it was until they were ambushed at a roadblock and mortared, leaving Beddington and 3 of his crew wounded. Lieutenant Hunt's troop now took the lead.
Okay, so you see, it works fine. I really cannot understand why Honda had that Bluetooth unit on all the time. I mean, from the minute the car was made and a battery connected, that Bluetooth unit was on. So of course it was going to burn out and cause problems and stuff. So the big problem is that it drains the battery. The problem I had was that it stayed connected even when the car was off. So this solves all that problems. I used the accessory to the Bluetooth unit. It was kind of a pain to solder those little tiny wires, but well worth the trouble. And I got some other things done. I put in this unit here, which is I used that wire that was connected to the battery and ran it to here. So now I have all-time power going to the to any accessories I want. So I can charge my phone with the car off. Before, it would only be charging while the car was on, and I didn't like that. I want to be able to leave the phone in the car charging sometimes and doing other things. I also get this nice little meter of the voltage that tells me what the current voltage is. So if I start the car, you can see it goes from 11 something up to 14.2, so it's charging. It's always nice to know what your car voltage is. I recommend that you get something that'll tell you. It'll tell you when the car is charging, and it'll tell you when things are bad and low. Normally, sitting with the car off and nothing on, you should be around 12.5, 12.3.
Instead, although because he was new and inexperienced, Freddie Jones was asked to be
12.3. If it drops below 12, your battery's starting to weaken, and come winter you're going to have a problem. So that's the story. I'm really pleased with this job. It came out great.